Baby, boom, rise and shine. It's that morning motivation. I'm your host with the most is Mark Saint. This is Saints Brand, Saints Addiction, keeping it real about my addictions and mental health. We getting in it this morning. We getting into this morning. We gotta get some show on the road, and your boys already got the whole thing blowing up. People needing signs at the show and asking for more services and printing and installation. And I got so much going on. I gotta do the show here and now, getting flyers in an hour and printing an hour. And see, dude, the whole phone's fucking up. Damn, you should find the third party to confirm a step out. Damn. This is crazy. Like the whole thing's just been blowing the fuck up. So your boy Saint's got Coroplast signs so people can know where the party's at. They got flyers in an hour so they can know where the party's at. I'm over here making it happen per usual. That's what we do over here at Saints Brand. It ain't easy, but the show must go on. You know, people don't give a shit about mental health. They only want completions. They don't give a fuck if you slept, if your heart's broken, if you're healthy. They only want completions, and it's almost like football. They're only going to throw the ball at somebody that can catch, and that's why we're up here this morning talking about completions and life and touchdowns and how we have to focus on ourselves and our minds so that way we can get in this game called life. Let's get some motivation, shall we? Boom, baby. Boom. Let's make sure we ain't get lost here. Lost in the translation. There we go. All right. Shout out to Still Smoking for throwing an awesome party last night. They're the Hobies. Gotta thank the Hobies. Everybody that's out there grinding and making shit happen. Once again, we're doing another party. The High Detox Party. My homeboy sells detox piss stuff, so when you take it, you gotta pee. If you want to stay employed, you know what time it is. So here we are. How do we keep our show going? How do we will ourselves with willpower to keep what we got going on in our lives moving forward? And that's the question I'm always asking. You know, when difficulties happen, how do we keep ourselves upright in difficult situations? I keep thinking of the Endurance. Most of you might not know what the Endurance is, but it was a trip that these men went on inside of Antarctica. And they really didn't make it together. And I think they played a game of some sort, you know, when they weren't chipping away at the ice at the hull and trying to survive from starvation and freaking the fuck out. He knew that if he didn't get his men's minds right, they weren't going to survive. And if your survival's based off of your mental strength, then that's all it's going to take for you to make it work. And that's something that we all got to do, is make it work. You know, if we don't make this mind work for us, it will definitely work against us. And that's the thing that we don't ever see there on that pendulum. I'm always talking about Saints Addiction. Either I'm being my whole saintly self and being super good and working on my growth and working out and all that other stuff, or I get into my addiction ways and I start masturbating or, you know, whatever I do. I was about to say smoke weed, but any kind of escapism that we all tend to participate in. And you know what your escapism is. I was saying it earlier this week that most people don't commit crimes early in the morning. It's your first chance to get before your addictions. It's a fresh start when your computer is nice and fresh, before it's bogged down by a bunch of information and stress. You have a chance to cognate. You have a chance to outthink yourself. And it's so amazing to have that kind of situation where you got a fresh start. every morning. Telling yourself nice things, positive information, positive reinforcement. And how awesome is that we can program this thing called our minds. You know, it's not easy when you got shit going on in your head and the data wants to send you stress, and I'm using it like a computer metaphor, but you know, sending you cookies and all sorts of stuff. Your program's confused, right? To get the software to work with the hardware. Most people didn't know that's how Bill Gates made his money. The hardware was going to work. It was already launching satellites and we were going to the moon, but that software, no one had a DOS system. That's how he made all the money. And he didn't even create the DOS system. He bought it from someone else for 50 grand and flipped it back to IBM for all the monies. That's us. Horribly filled with data, different sorts of data, things that make us feel a certain type of way, certain type of information that we feed ourselves, and we sit on this data and we can't get past it. I taught that earlier this week too, how to get past some of our shit, and everybody's just like, get past the past, and I'm like, how am I supposed to get past the past? Well, I guess the new information squeezes it out. It just kind of pushes it out. I got nothing else but to just other things to do, you know, get busy with my life, and then therefore I'm not concentrating about my wife. Okay, I'm trying to be the best form of me so I can be married. Okay, I'm trying to do right by my life so somebody can be my wife. That part. And all these things, we're all doing the same thing. We do all sorts of little tricky situations so we can work out to look better for a mate, or make more money so we can have a more beautiful mate, or everything to me is about mating. You know, I don't know what everybody else is on about, but I'm talking about straight doing the damn thing. The thing that we all want to do, whether we like it or not. You got cute, and then I went to the women's meeting, and it's important for them to look pretty so they can feel pretty, so they can be a flower, so they can get pollinated. There it is. You want to know why you're so beautiful? It's because it was created that way, dude. You are supposed to be a lure for a hunter like me. What do? I get up every morning early, late nights, early mornings, fucking grinding so I can be at that position in a fit mind, body, and soul, so by the time that flower's ready to bloom, I can come by and pollinate. And it's so interesting to me, like, we get inside of ourselves where we just sit in this world where there's nobody around. Like, that happened to me last night too, where I didn't get social proofed, and I knew some of the people, I knew most of the people, but some people were just ignoring me. They were going to say what's up to other people, and then like turning their butts to me like I wasn't even all there, or I was like a mannequin just sitting on the end of the fucking spot, and I'm just like, oh, okay, that's how we're gonna play it. This thing's collapsing on me. That's what was. There we go. And that's all of us, you know, wanting to feel loved, wanting to feel the social proof, wanting to be popular. It was a competition of egos and name dropping and handshaking. I mean, that's networking, bro. And when you're really growing, people don't want to hear that shit. They only want to just print and go. And that's what I'm doing right now. I'm about to do an installation. They sent me the paperwork. They want to print some signs, some big chloroplast signs, the signs you see like, hey, go this way. This is where the party's at. This is where the party's at. This is how we communicate. And it's so weird. It's because we're doing animal shit all the time. Each other, right? You know, if it's your girl, she wants to stand close to you so that You know that that's her man, and then if she's by herself, her man comes up to her and gets intimately close with her and touches her intimately, so every other male knows that that's her. We bow out our chests when we see each other. We still look like monkeys, man. Communicating, figuring it out. What do you call that, man? When you're just mammal, dude. You're just straight in a society. And when we're in society, there's so much going on, we don't even want to see. All of us are trying to increase our value. Showed each other how much money we made. Why else would you wear gold chains? Show the wealth that you got. My buddy made an excellent point. My buddy Mike said, it's hard to show external value. How do you tell somebody when you're at the club, I own a home? You know? And then we even talked about people that wear chains and how they fucking don't even have the money. So part of it is a floss or a fleece to fleece somebody else out into thinking that they got it like that. Like, I got all my shit together. It's easier to put on a dress than to put on mental health. It's easier to wear a chain than to practice financial wealth. And it's easy to look like your shit's together than to actually have your shit together. And that's what we've been doing. I mean, I was looking at it today. They were saying Facebook's desperately trying to get after TikTok because they're capturing information for people that are viral influencers. Facebook was built off of sharing information from your family and friends. They were dangling us against each other. And when that stopped working, I use that a towel down there, a spit towel. When that's not working, they used influencers, people that grabbed our attention, people like me. Start promoting the shorts, start competing for your attention, and then you can see what you're chasing. You know, most of us chase imagery. You know, we chase, what's the chick that spent like 600 grand on wanting to be like Kim Kardashian? It reminds me of the Tales from the Crypt episode I read as a kid, in a comic book. Before it was an HBO special, Tales from the Crypt were the Aesop fables of the time. There was a man that literally paid for all the muscles to come off this young man so he could get this girl. And he took off the biceps, he took off his quadriceps. I mean, he literally went through all these painful surgeries so he could look like homeboy. And girl went with homeboy because he had the money and he was old. So it's like literally the guy that he was, he didn't feel confident enough. So he wanted to switch up, and he thought that she would love him more if he had the muscles. And once they switched the body, now the old man, the other guy, went through the surgeries as well. He gave up all his youth and muscles so he could have all the money, and she went with all the money. We switch up thinking those things are going to make us happy. Because if I look like that, I'll be happy like that. But they're not necessarily happy. And we go into these worlds where we're like, well, if I was more prettier, we see all the pretty girls getting all the guys and getting all sorts of free shit, then my life would be easier. And just like Bruce Lee said, don't pray for an easy life, you know? Like, that's all of us to try to just make it easier on ourselves. If we make more money, then we'll make it easier on ourselves. But when we make more money, we buy more things that we're addicted to. Literally. Isn't that weird? So the only thing we're really trying to do is really have pleasure. We're not looking for happiness, because happiness is an inside job. We can be happy with perspective. We can be happy with positive affirmations. We can be happy with what we have. But we're on the, what's that person have? We're on that, let's watch them, and then my show will go on. You know what I mean? Like, instead of improving me and making my show go on, we look at everybody else and go, well, their show's going on. It's kind of weird, but that's how we concentrate. And instead of concentrating on our monkeys and our circus, we look at everybody else's circus. We look at the circus of social media, and we'll hop into someone else's life, and we can't wait to watch somebody else grow and do their own motherfucking thing. When Lord knows we need to focus on ourselves, grow, and watch our thing grow. You know, the show, that show, your plant, your thing needs to go on. And that's the thing that I find difficult, you know, like that's what they're probably trying to explain to me, like my uncle and everyone, get over it, you know, get past it, stop living in the past, because my show's going on right now. And if I don't concentrate on this show, the show that's going on, a champ show, and to finishing these flyers in an hour and doing these installations and getting my breakfast and making sure I get sleep, it's going to fuck up the rest of the show. And you already know what a fucked up show you can look like, you know? What kind of hot mess, or what your circus looks like. Everybody's seen their own circus. You know, everybody's seen themselves go wild. You know, it's not easy, you know, when your monkeys are all over the place and the elephants and the lions won't pay attention. How much are you paying attention? Odds are you're probably paying attention to me right now because you're watching the show. You know, instead of paying attention to your breathing. We gotta get on the case, man. We have to get on the case. And that's why I meant the show must go on. You know, they used to say, one monkey don't stop, no show. You know, like if one of these little monkeys don't want to participate, that one little section in your life, the one that doesn't want to move forward, rest of our lives keeps moving forward. It's such a trip, man. That's one of the things I learned in my deepest depression is I can't sleep it away. No matter how much I want to kind of close my eyes, this isn't my life. I didn't want it to go that way. I wanted to be taller, richer, better, you know what I'm saying? And now I open my eyes, that's not the case. This is the case. I'm on the case right now. Checking myself, checking on myself, checking on my projects, making sure that this thing works right. It's another reason why I want to see my own psychologist. It's been 6 months since I lost a child. I still talk about it. I wore out all my friends. I need to wear out psychologists. I don't need to wear out Facebook. I don't need to do any of that shit. I need to be me in this moment so I can show up in all my moments instead of disappearing. And how many of us are doing that? You know, disappearing in our own lives, not showing up, and we're wondering why the show doesn't go on, because we haven't showed up. We were too afraid to get on stage. We were too afraid to talk to that pretty girl. We were too afraid to ask for that raise. We were too afraid to earn more money. I know for facts your boy Saint's been afraid of success. It's weird as how hard I work and concentrate and do this show and still kind of sabotage a relationship or sabotage a business. There's so much of that. Oh, shit. Get blown up here. There's so much of that, and I'm not proud of it. You know what I'm saying? That's not my thing I want to hang my hat on, but it is the truth, you know? We're here at Saints Addiction. It's like, as saintly as I want to be, I still have a devilish side. I still have a that pushes people away and is afraid of intimacy and is afraid of failure, extremely afraid of failure, yet exactly afraid of success. I'm a conundrum. That's why Saints Addiction was so weird. Most people never seen those two words put together. It's like, oh, saint, oh, you can almost hear the angels sing, and then they go, addiction. That's the most horrible word in the world. And it's just just like, yeah, no shit, dude. We are that mostly saints. That's my favorite part about mostly saints, is we're almost completely saintly. But the truth is no one's completely saintly. Like, let's just keep it 1,000. Most of us all of us are flawed. Most of us are afraid to admit it, you know. We're afraid to say how self-conscious we are, watching everybody clock each other inside that club, and who's looking at who, and who's wearing what, and how she touching him, and does he enjoy it. And we're just clocking each other. We're a bunch of monkeys watching a bunch of monkeys. And it's so funny that we think we're in a zoo and we're observing the animals when we're the animals observing the animals. And that's just more of the stuff that I've been noticing. Is just more, especially being around a bunch of mammals. And like, I don't even know how many people are at the convention, maybe 10,000 or something, maybe 1,000, I'm not quite sure. But when you put that many mammals together, you can see the pattern of how people operate and what they act like and all that shit. So, you know, it's one of those things that I live in that reality, right? I live in that reality where those things happen, and you live in that reality too, where we're always gauging each other and seeing if it's danger, and seeing if we're at safety, and seeing how we drive, and seeing how they dress, and seeing what they're driving. And it plants little seeds, you know. When I'm in Thailand, there's so many motorbikes, I don't even concentrate on cars. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's not even in my radar because there's not that many cars. And it's not a car society. When we're here, we're all focused on what kind of car we drive, and how to attract a mate through a car. That's a very interesting thing that I don't think really happens in Thailand. But, you know, it's another thing that I hear it happens in China, where they go, you know, owning a home, and that's why they buy these other condos and extra properties, so their son or daughter can mate. So it's like, you ain't marrying nobody that don't own a home. How are you gonna raise a baby? And that's exactly their thought. So it's another lure and loot. It's like, yo, I got enough loot to make a home. It's a lure for you to come in and make a baby. And I mean, so many different things. Like, I mean, this is kind of what we do again as monkeys, to sit there and go, you know, here I'm a successful monkey. I can find a banana for you. You know, I know where the source of bananas are. And that's another thing that I think that's everyone's also clocking, is how successful you are at people, the social proofing, at finding the honey and making the money, and being able to generate income, and so much so that you generated a car and clothes and a picture for somebody else to bite into. And that's just all it's been. It's just these kind of situations that we are always seeking and trying to find. And lo and behold, it's right here with us. And that's all I've been seeing and saying this whole time is, you know, we got to learn. We got to learn how to communicate with other monkeys. We got to learn how to communicate with ourselves. We got to learn how to move the needle. And that's what it's all about. So watch me come in. I got phone calls, people. That's my buddy Mike. I'll see you on the other side. Peace and love. And as always, Chigathon.